3 with the drums. Yeah. Yeah. You got some attitude. Today's video is different. It's my first time giving an actual one-on-one lesson within the video. I invited my buddy Mike to learn how to use the MPC one, and so we went through the basics and just learned how to put together a beat. This is an approach that I really liked because it took me outside of my own experience as an MPC user and beat maker and put the focus on someone who has zero experience. Mike is actually a chef, and it's interesting the connections that we made between beat making and cooking. Today's video is sponsored by DistroKid. They are the music distribution company, and they just dropped something huge. It's called DistroVid, which allows you to release music videos on platforms like Vivo, Amazon Music, Tidal, Apple Music. This is a first of its kind, and I'll be getting into it a little bit more later in this video. It's a template. So these are all different sounds. So right, you have your drums, whatever. Then you have like actual melodic tones. Electronic beat makers, like this is a really popular way of making a beat using this machine and then creating sequences with all this stuff. So a sequence is basically just like a moment in time where all of this is playing at the same time. Do you have any music background?
I mean, I like sing and play guitar,
okay,
but
cool.
I don't know about that anything technical.
That's fine. So this is like preloaded into the MPC one. So right, we just like chose a style of music and it's all just preloaded.
Right.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create our own kit and then create a beat with it real quick.
Track.
This is like kind of trap music.
That's it.
Ish. You like this?
I like the first one better.
You like the first one? Okay.
Who makes that music, you know?
So so these are like samples that you could find online. So there's a website called splice.com. It's like Netflix for producers, and you just pay $15 a month.
Really?
Yeah, and you get access to like hundreds of thousands, I think millions at this point. There's just like endless supply of samples. Okay, that was cool.
Reminds me of Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah. So let's go with that one. Or I don't know. Is this your favorite one so far?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that
sure.
one. So let's go with this. So we're gonna load that. So you see that this pad here is lit up.
Yep.
So I'm just going load. And now if you hit this pad, the whole sample's there, which is cool.
Holy.
So we can't just like rip the sample and then make a track from that. We have to actually kind of make it our own in some way. So here's what we're gonna do.
You have to? Why do you have to?
Well, I mean,
You should.
you should.
Okay.
I don't know. You could, if you. That's the thing. If you wanted to, these are royalty free, so you could literally just take this, drop it into a song, and then like put drums around it.
Like rip it off completely.
Yeah.
Sick.
And you could do that, but like I don't know. It's. I'd rather make it my own thing. So that sample that I just uploaded here, I'm gonna chop it up onto 8 pads.
What?
Yeah. So here we go. So trim, regions. And then you select 8. So now it's going to be chopped into 8. Convert, do it. Okay, cool. So then, yeah, so now it's been all chopped up. So if I go 2, 3, 4, right? So if I wanted to, I could play the whole sample as it was, or I could like around with it and sort of,
So that's the whole sample? If you hit that once, it'll go the whole way through?
You actually have a visual of that. So this is the entire sample here.
Right.
And that's the part
okay.
that, you know what I mean?
Right,
So that's the part that I'm playing. Now we have that. So that's like the next step. And then if you wanted to, you can go warp sample, and I could change the pitch of each of these samples. So like, let's say, right? You could speed it up. So let's say that, just that. Right, so you're completely changing it up there. Another thing, actually, it's kind of peaking a little bit. Just gonna. By the way, you're not just gonna be sitting there like trying to understand everything. I'm just chopping it up, and then eventually we're gonna make a beat with it. So
I was gonna say like what I thought, which was it would be super incomprehensible to even begin, was absolutely correct. I'm like,
yeah.
How do you know? Like you're like, oh yeah, well the buttons, they all do the things.
Yeah. No,
I feel like when I was a kid and I knew my PC really well, that's how I feel.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. Yeah, it's just like repetition and doing it over. But for now, so we just right at this point we're just creating a kit. That's what it comes down to. So eventually, once we're completed with this step, we're gonna have like drums, and then the rest of the sample to mess around with, and then that's where we're gonna create a beat from, right?
So you're talking about taking the sample, including it in some of the buttons, and then having other buttons do drums like separate from the sample.
Yeah. So it's you create a whole kit, and then if you wanted to, you could perform the whole kit and do like a drumming thing and perform it all at once, or you could like do one part at a time. I'll show you what I mean once we get to it. So from there, let's go to. So this is a drum program, so I'm gonna go to some other program, whatever. From here, I'm gonna go assign samples, and we're gonna choose drums that you like. This is the part that's like kind of tedious. You have to like jump around and find shit. So let's find a kick drum on this pad. Let's say that's one kick. Right, we're getting right down to the bare bones of making music. Right, you find a kick sound that you like.
I don't know why, but I like that last one.
Textbook? Okay, let's do that. So load. From there we have. Let's go to snare. It's old school. So in this particular folder, that's it for snare. So which is your favorite one here?
I think almost like the first one or the third one.
Okay, so let's load that. Hi-hat. These are hi-hats. So you know drums, right?
Yeah.
So kick, snare, hi-hat, whatever. Okay. So kick, hi-hat. Whoops. So same thing, whatever one that stands out to you.
That one, yeah.
That one? Okay,
sure.
So that's the one. And then open hi-hat, I think there's only one. So that's that. So if I wanted to play a beat, right, so that you have your drums there and they're ready to go. So this is a completely different, it's called a program. If you go back to this program here, that's where our sample is, and then we had to upload a different program just to find our drums. Right, so then how do we combine those two programs? We're gonna do that. So from here, this is another kind of tedious process. We're gonna go to, these are our drums, copy pads, on process, and we're gonna go like that. So now we're basically just copying these drums over one at a time. I wish there was a faster way of doing this. There is not, that I know of.
3 hours later.
All right, so we have a kit. So now if I play these pads, they all cut each other out, which is obviously doesn't work, right? If I wanted to play a beat with this, like this one doesn't sound because I'm playing other pads over top of that. So the next thing from there, and once again, this is another kind of tedious process. It's called mute groups. I'm gonna select these 4 pads, call it, that's one mute group, and then.
So like when you play these, they're autonomous with, like they don't cut out the other ones.
Exactly. So now
it is tedious. Holy smokes.
It is tedious, yeah. And so so now they sound whatever. Right, so that's cool. We're done with that. Fun part. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go.
So everything's chopped up and ready to go. We have our samples. We got our drums ready to go. Okay, cool. So we're gonna work on, this is sequence 3. And the first thing we're gonna do is match the tempo. I think we had said 75. So from there, you just plug in your notes along with the click. You have a bit of musical experience, so we're gonna count you in 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. See how it sounds? 1, 2. I like it. Hi-hat. I'll let you add kick and snare. So I'll let you audition it for a second, and then I'll start recording it with overdub. So pattern starts 2, 3 with the drum. got some attitude. Okay. 1, 2, start recording now. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, so from there, so if you're thinking from like a producer's standpoint, I'm gonna put you in the
put me in the chair.
ear in the ear of a producer. So, is there anything in particular with the drums that kind of sounds loud or out of place? Maybe. Is there one drum that's like maybe it's just too loud?
I don't know.
Okay.
Man, I don't know.
So I'm gonna hint that it's the hi-hat that's too loud.
The cymbal, like the
like the so that it's for me it's too loud. I find that it like overpowers the rest of the drums. So what I'm gonna do is warp samples, and then I could go to the particular sample that I want to warp. This one. So this is the volume of that particular sample. I could drop it. So now when I play back, I can drop it to 0.
Oh, okay.
You know, so whatever. And let's say, so now this one's too loud too. It's like kind of in your face or whatever. Cool. I want the kick to be louder because like kick and snare you want to be like nice and pumping, right? So I'm gonna same with the snare. So that now we're stepping into mixing. So now you're just balancing up the drums so that it grooves more, basically. I don't know. To me, that just sounds a lot better.
It's like balancing flavors.
Yeah. You really
if you
have
had no idea what you were even tasting in the first place, how would you balance anything out?
Yeah, that's actually it's interesting. Yeah, from like a cook's perspective, right? Because you're thinking more like constructively. You're not. You know what I mean? You're like constructing something with these.
But you're like
basic flavors.
I know what you want, and you want it to be balanced.
Yeah, it's really similar. Yeah. Any sort of artistic thing like that.
Toning down the acidity of our pasta right now.
Seriously, yeah. There's like a connection there. Okay, so there's one. I'll show you one other thing. So going back to the mute group thing that I was talking about. If you have several drums within a mute group, they'll like mute each other out, right? So I sort of explained that to you. So this hi-hat, this one here, it's too like it like rings too much. So what I want to do, I want this to silence this hi-hat when it plays.
Okay.
So I'll show you how I do that. So this is already on a mute group. So I'm going to put this on mute group 1. So now when this plays, it's going to stop this from sounding.
Oh,
so
wow.
I mean,
Wow,
like,
yeah,
it stops. And then just to show a before and after, this is without it. It rings too much, like it's not as tight. So then if you do that, it sounds more like professional, I guess, and tight, whatever.
Yeah, and tight. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah. There's like so much you could do with this thing. It's one of the best out there.
Really?
Absolutely. Like for electronic music like this, it's killer. So I'm gonna make this one actually, because there's like little flavors I think that are missing. Okay. So so there's this one. It's called sidechain compression.
Oh yeah. Lead me through sidechain compression right now.
Okay. So now for each of these pads, you could add like effects and whatever. So let's say, for example, I'll just to be really obvious about it, I'm gonna add like, I don't know, reverb onto this. What is it? There it is. So the difference between these two pads. Yeah. So this one versus you hear like the reverb on it. So you could.
So there's literally like billions of different options.
Billions.
Maybe even infinite. Oh my god.
So going back to the Mother Ducker thing, we're gonna make that kick stand out a lot more.
Is Mother Ducker your thing? Like, did you create this program?
No.
Oh, okay. Somebody else made Mother Ducker.
Yeah. I wish I created it. So I'm adding it to all of these pads. Mother ducker, mother ducker. The thing, it's kind of a that you have to do this on a per pad basis because it's like a bit time consuming, but that's just the way it is. Do you hear the kick? So once again, before and after, just to show you a difference. So this is without mother ducker. It's cool. Now pay close attention to that kick. I'll do it at the end of this. The kick drum. 2, 3.
Oh yeah.
It like pumps more.
Yeah.
So now we're stepping into like really shaping our sounds.
All right, where's the microphone for doing like when do we lay
some rap?
Lay vocals? Yeah, lay down the vocals.
No, I wish I don't have that on this
Spit
today.
freeze.
Spit some freezies. Okay, so here I'll change just to add more to this. I'm gonna add some more hi-hats. Sounds cool. It sounds a bit like pumpier.
Get it? Oh, get it?
Get it? Okay. And then if you wanted it to pump, we'll add one last thing to this. So what we
dirty it up.
Dirty it up to pump up this thing here. So I want more like cha on that snare drum. I want it to be like. So what you could do is you could layer it. So I'm gonna go to an empty. These are all empty, right? We haven't loaded anything.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna ask, what do you do with the top?
Yeah.
8 buttons.
Yeah. So we're gonna. These are open to do whatever we want with. So I'm gonna go here, assign sample, and now we're gonna find a snare. Ooh, that's a good one. What's your favorite one?
I think the first one.
Yeah, that first one.
My, like, brain.
That first one is. So then, what you could do, we're gonna audition this. So it just adds a bit more.
Over top.
Yeah. So you do that on that snare. Oh, whoops. 2, 3, and go. Oh! Okay, we're good. 2, and go. Yeah, yeah. Right, so it adds a bit more pump to that snare. Honestly, I find that this is a little too loud. So once again, we could go back into that mixing territory. Global. If I go to that snare, I could.
Oh, you click it to go right to it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I can drop that volume. So I'm just experimenting here. This is a pretty dope beat.
You turn it up like really, really loud. What does that sound like?
And then from there, I mean, it's really your taste. Like, I could drop the. You hear what's happening?
Man, wow.
I can do that with all the drums. So let's say the hi-hats, I want those to sound.
Why is it? What do they mean by the key? Like
the key? Yeah. So
like the hi-hat's in a key? Is that what?
Technically, yes.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's a
my
note.
mind's being blown.
Yeah, it's a note. Yeah, we're done. This is dope.
Thank you.
Awesome beat. Great skills.
Shut up. I literally didn't do anything.
And now more about DistroKid. They are a music distribution platform. Many of us already know that DistroKid is loaded with amazing features. Well, they just dropped something huge. This time it's called DistroVid. It's the easiest way for artists to get their videos onto music platforms like Vivo, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, and keep 100% of the earnings. As a DistroVid member, it's kind of similar to DistroKid. There's a yearly subscription fee and you're able to release unlimited videos during that time. Anyone with a DistroKid account is able to register. And as one of their most active creators, they gave me this discount link for you guys to use if you're not already a DistroKid member. Independent artists and producers, this one is pretty big, so go check it out at distrovid.com. Once again, another huge thank you to Mike. Let me know if you guys think that I should ask him to be included in another one of these videos. If you are interested in purchasing an MPC One, I've left a purchase affiliate link in the description of this video. If you end up using that link, I make a small commission from that sale and it doesn't cost you anything extra. Like and subscribe if you're into this sort of content. Join the Discord community. It'd be great to have you guys there to shoot the shit about synths in my server. We have a lot of fun. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys very soon.